Today, we are embarking on a journey, and not just any journey, but a journey to get inspired to create. So, before we do, let's define the terms that we are going to be using for today's episode. One would ask, what is inspiration? Inspiration is simply something that helps you or gives you the urge to create. Inspiration can come from everywhere, from the very mundane sources to the extravagant, to the metaphysical, or even the very spiritual realm. Inspiration is mostly fueled by fragments of our daily activities or fragments of our ideas, or generally the stuff that we have been introduced to growing up in a particular area, or even the kind of people you grew up around. All those things affect your experiences as a human being. So, although you may not realize it, the next time you are searching for a very unique idea for your project, all those ideas most often come from your personal experiences. One would ask, is there truly something new under the sun? Well, that is a little bit debatable, but what I can tell you is that what makes an artistic work unique, it's by leveraging on your personal experiences as a human being. And when you do this, you are going to end up convincing your audience that what you are producing, it's original. However, I always say it is never truly entirely new. What made it unique is because you have been able to leverage on your personal experiences to be able to make a very unique, authentic piece. So, the next time you are facing that artistic block and you need inspiration to be able to create that artistic piece, be it singing or drawing, or probably you're an artist, or maybe specifically if you're a filmmaker like I am embarking on a journey today to get inspired. I have this particular location I often visit to fill up my creative cup. I like to describe this place as a very local, indigenous Ghanaian vernacular place to get inspired. Because at this particular place, you can get to experience somehow unadulterated African culture, and it gives a clear depiction into the olden days in an African setting. So, if you're ready, I am going to take you on this journey today. Let's get there, let's go there, and get inspired. On the way, I am going to be sharing some tips with you. But guys, before we go, if you're new to the channel, kindly click on the subscribe button and hit on the notification icon so that you get notified anytime we drop a new video on this channel. Because on this channel, we talk about art and anything filmmaking. If you're ready for this journey, let's go. So in most cases, I just love to step out like this and take a ride to this particular location that I enjoy so much. And trust me, by the time we get there, you are going to agree with me that it is really worthwhile, or it's really worth our time. Yes, guys, we are finally here. So let's pack it. You know, this is an African community. So when you first get here, what you have to do is you have to get there and greet them. But this is where I come to get inspired. As courtesy demands in an African community, let's go and greet the people. But they are my friends, so I know once they get to see me around, they will be waiting for me here. So let's do this. So like I said earlier on, this is where I come to get inspired. Just look at the whole landscape. And like I said, it is almost like an unadulterated version of the typical African setting. So yes, I'm here, and let me find a place and sit down and let's have a chit chat. Let me share some 1 or 2 tips with you, apart from just visiting a place like this to get in. All right, guys, it's amazing seeing you guys around. Welcome to our very first live stream on this channel. And at least I want to use this opportunity to welcome all of you to the Africa Based channel. This is the very first time we are getting interactive, and I just hope that by the end of the day, this is going to really be awesome. I mean, forgive me because sometimes the network where I am, the network isn't really too good down here. And of course, this is just an opportunity for us to try and get very interactive, because this year I'm going to try as much as possible to be organizing live streams like this, where we can get to know each other, where we can get interactive, and where, of course, we can get to share ideas, and you can ask me real-time questions, and I'll respond to the questions. And probably today we'll use this opportunity to figure out some of the challenges that we'll be facing along the line when it comes to streaming. And this year, of course, I'm going to be doing lots of tutorials on streaming as well, and VFX. And of course,
we have just officially gone like a year into this channel, and I want to use this opportunity to say a very big thank you to all of you guys. You guys are awesome, guys. I'm only here because of you. Without you, this channel doesn't exist at all. And of course, as this live stream has just gone, I can already see a lot of people. I can see Ras online. I can see Pixelion Studios. I mean, that is Reed. I'll be bringing Reed on this channel. He has changed his channel name to Reed these days. So we'll be doing a lot together very soon. You'll be seeing him on this channel. And of course, this year too, you'll be seeing OBL Senior himself on this channel. Together, we'll be doing lots of tutorials. We've been working on one of our films for almost close to 2 years now. The title is Gangdu, and there's still lots of back and forth. We are spending lots of time on the visual effects, and so we hardly get time to work on YouTube videos together. So that's why I'm still kind of a lone ranger here. But very soon, when OBL Senior finally joins in the race, you are going to see that it's really going to become really very interesting. Again, we've just had someone join us. This is Alan, Trent Allen. This is really very good. Welcome joining in. And of course, he has also brought in his questions. Let's just keep bringing in the questions, because by the time we officially kickstart, I'll be addressing most of your questions, regardless of whether it has to do with the film industry. And if you want to know more, especially if it's a question that has to do with the African filmmaking industry, to be specific, I'm gladly going to be answering that. Let me just quickly issue that disclaimer. I haven't really worked in Hollywood, so most of the questions I'll be giving, or most of the advices I'm going to be giving, are much more going to be directed at the indie world. And because one thing is that some of the challenges that I've encountered on the indie filmmaking scene kind of cuts across the whole world. All of us kind of face almost similar challenges, or almost the same challenges along the line. So just bear that in mind as we are going to start. Most of the answers I'm going to be giving, or most of the advices, are going to be much more geared towards independent films than a big industry like Hollywood or Bollywood, because I don't really know details of how. I might have read or I might know, but I really do want to always speak from experiences than what I've seen or what I've read. And so I feel like I'm going to be limiting some of the answers, or some of the advices I'm going to be giving are going to be limited based on the independent filmmaking world. But trust me, I've listened to lots and lots of directors across the world, and some of the things I'm going to be saying also cuts across into the realm of Hollywood and all those other big filmmaking industries across the world. But like I said, I don't want to go too much into that. And someone has also just joined us. He's anonymous, and yeah. Amazing. He says he wants to go into filmmaking because of me. I mean, that is really very good. It's good to hear comments like this, to know very well that there are a plethora of you out there who are inspired by someone like me, who has managed to go into filmmaking, living in a very poor area and living in a poor continent somewhere in the West Africa, and within a country, and kind of quote unquote the poorest area of a country, and being able to leverage the power of the internet and learning filmmaking for close to 14 years now. I mean, like I've always preached on my channel, I've been to almost, or I've studied across almost every filmmaking resources online, everywhere that they teach filmmaking for free. I've managed to always find my way through to study there, because I've just been hungry for knowledge. And one thing I know about this digital age is that you can never get content. The moment you get content, that I know that is the beginning of your decline. Everything begins to decline for you. So if you are an ardent follower of this channel, one thing I always keep preaching is that never get content with knowledge. It's infinite, because technology, it keeps developing on a rapid pace. So you can't just get content with what you know. Every day in, day out, you need to keep researching, you need to keep studying, you need to keep getting better at whatever that you are doing. And that is kind of like the spirit that is going to really take you very far. So by the title of the stream, you would know that we are going to be talking about the truth of filmmaking, the actual truth of filmmaking that you were never truly told. Because most of the times as beginners, we only see, or when we see the glamorous part, that is those areas that kind of inspire some of us to get into the world of filmmaking. But in as much as we get inspired, there are some actual truths to that industry that we are not privy to. But sometimes some people discover it so late, and so though they say, I want to become a filmmaker, I want to learn filmmaking, by the time they truly discover what it takes to become a filmmaker, then it's already too late, and they've already gone so deep into it, and it gets to a point where they would have to withdraw. And so without wasting your time, I suggest we go right into the video, because right now I can see some of your questions already pouring in, and some of your comments already kind of pouring in. So I presume this is going to be really interesting. And please, if you are already on this live stream, please make sure to click on the like button, because it goes a long way in helping other people discover this channel. Like I said, in 2022, we are going to be doing more of this. More live streams are going to be coming, so that we can get really interactive, so that in certain cases, I'm going to even be shooting videos live and taking you along. And there are certain instances where I'm going to be editing videos and again taking you live on my editing journey, so that we can edit videos together, so that we don't have really too much of cutting or cuts along the line, so that you can get to feel the true authentic nature of it. So please, like I said, please make sure to click on the like button, because I'm going to start with point number 1. So the first truth about filmmaking, or learning filmmaking, or being a filmmaker, is that it's a very expensive craft. Believe it or not, guys, this craft is really very expensive. When was the last time you decided to buy a camera? When was the last time you decided that I want to upgrade my machine, my editing machine? Get into that, and you would realize that things can pretty much begin to add up to become really very costly in this industry. They aren't really shortcuts. I always reiterate this particular fact, that at every point in time when something comes up, even when they say this is cheap, it isn't really cheap for everyone, because it's also still really very expensive. And because on this channel, I want to inspire you beginner filmmakers. I know how difficult it is, especially if you are from not so much rich areas of the world. Something that, let's say, a filmmaker in Los Angeles, or let's say in Casablanca, or let's say a filmmaker in the United Kingdom might see it as cheap. It's not necessarily cheap for, let's say, a filmmaker living in a poor area in India, or maybe somewhere in Africa. And I do understand the hustle. I can relate with you guys. I do understand it absolutely, because I've been there before. And even till now, in some cases, you still get to that point. But so I do understand you. And so one thing is that, just bear in mind that filmmaking is an expensive craft. And despite, like I said, the word expensive, it's very kind of debatable, because what is expensive to me might not be expensive to you. But on general terms, like I said, even those things that might be described as cheap might not necessarily be cheap for you beginners. And like I said, I'm focusing on you beginners, because you guys are my target out there, because that is what the African Amaze channel is all about, inspiring you guys to go out there and tell authentic stories. Now, let's go to point number 2. Now, the next point I want to talk about is the fact that we are always constantly being told that to get jobs in the film industry, or to proceed in the film industry, you need skill. You need to really be very skillful. Now, guys, let me bust your bubble. In as much as you need skill to make it in the industry, more than 80%, by my own research and by my own thinking, more than 80% of how far you go in the industry is determined by your personal character, your human relations. Now, let's take this for example. If you look at it very carefully, we are getting some glitches. Sorry, I'm a little bit distracted over here. Um, I'm sure it's the processing power of the machine because it's kind of a little bit loaded. I have Adobe Premiere Pro and some other things open on the software, so it's kind of delaying it a little. But I just hope the glitches are not really too much. Right, we are having connection issues again. I just hope it's not really too bad for now. Yes, guys, like I said, let's I do apologize because the network wouldn't be too good. It will not give us a chance to um freely roll with this video as we go on. But just do let me know. I hope we can proceed. It seems to be better now. Right. So let's put this into perspective. Like I was saying, if a director is making a film and he or she is supposed to edit the film for a whole year, let's suppose that he spends, let's say, 3 or 4 hours every day with you at the editing studio, either sitting with you completely and trying to know how far you've gone, or maybe he or she offers you the space to be able to edit, and he or she goes and comes back later on to come and check, or come and check on the progress. You soon get to realize that he or she is spending more and more time with you. So, in as much as you need a skill as an editor, you are a human being, and so you guys are kind of spending a lot of time together. So, at the end of the day, if you are not a good person, or you don't have a good character, or you don't have really good interpersonal relating skills, then that is the end for you. Trust me, no matter how skilled you are, by the next job, that same director might not be calling you for another job. And that, for me, it's very revealing. And this took me a long time to know because, like I said, when you're getting into filmmaking or when you want to be a filmmaker, the glamour kind of sometimes subdue some of these areas, and you don't really get to see, or you don't really get to experience the true nature of some of these things. And so that is the nature of the industry. And whether you like it or not, like I said, in as much as skill is good, but character would take you to places. So let's put it this way: skill will take you to a place, but the character will determine how far you go or how long you stay at that particular place or that particular director or work with that particular client. And so that is it for tip number 2. Now, tip number 2 morphs into tip number 3, which is never talk bad, or don't talk bad about your previous clients. This is one of the least spoken truths about the filmmaking industry, guys. Let's say you worked with one particular director previously, or you worked for a particular corporation, or you worked for a government, or whatever institution that you chose to work for at a particular time. After working for these particular people, if your relationship didn't go well, if something did go wrong, or let's say after the whole program you guys are not really in good terms, or something, like I said, something didn't really go according to plan, do not talk bad about those particular client, guys. It is one major mistake that I see beginner filmmakers do. No matter how sad the relationship got, or even if you guys were not able to take the whole thing to the next level or a certain degree, just move on. When you meet the next client, do not tell them how bad the previous person you worked with was, because you may never know. The industry, or generally the world, is in such a way that everything is interlinked or intertwined. So make sure never to talk bad about your previous client, no matter how bad or no matter how sour the relationship would have gone. Now, that is it for point number 3. Now, point number 4 is grow with your film, or make sure you position yourself in such a way that you can grow old with your film. Now, what do I mean by make sure to grow old with your film? Again, this is one of the secrets that I feel like, or one of the things that I feel like is not really being spoken about within the industry or within, or most indie filmmakers are not really privy to. If you know that a film, you need to approach, and this particular, to give credit where it's due, I actually took this particular point from Philip Noyce. Philip Noyce is actually one of the renowned Hollywood directors, and I was privy to meet him during a film festival that my film made it to, the Africa International Film Festival in Nigeria. And on a one-on-one interaction with Philip Noyce, he told me this thing, and it has always stuck in my head. When you are making a film, approach it in such a way that I want to grow old with this film. And if you're a YouTuber or wherever, a content creator, when you are creating a content, one thing you should ask yourself is, will I be able to grow with this film? Now, what do we mean by will I be able to grow with this film? The film, are you putting in all your effort to shoot the film that in the next, let's say, 10, 20, 15 years, can you look at that film again and feel proud that you made it at that time? Don't get this twisted. By that time, you would have made improvements, or a lot would have changed. So looking back, you would have felt like there are lots of things that you could have changed or you could have done differently. But all in all, is it a film that you can look back and feel proud of? And so if you have this mindset that a film, it's a living being, or it's something that can also be very young and grow old with you, then it puts you on your toes. Know that you can't just make anything, or you can't just create anything and put it out there. I should be able to look back at the videos I posted on YouTube last year. Even if I do think that there are certain things that I can improve, I should still be able to look back at it and thank God that I made that film. Or look back at that side and thank God that I posted that video. Because regardless of the fact that today I would have done it differently, but it's good enough for me to still be proud that I made a video at that particular time. And so constantly always try to position yourself in such a way that you grow old with your films, you grow old with the videos, any form of content that you produce. Make sure that you strategically position yourself in such a way that you grow old with them, so that you can confidently look back at them one day and be proud that on this particular time, on this particular day, I took the bull by the horn, made this film, and it has brought me this far. And that is a very powerful point for me, guys. And like I said, I'm not taking credit for this because Philip Noyce shared this with me. And since then till now, it has really kind of changed my life. Now, this point, the next point I'm going to be sharing with you, it's a very powerful one, guys, which is dedicating a budget to marketing yourself, your work, or your film. Even at this stage, I'm still guilty of this, guys. If you look at the amount of indie films that are made these days, because let's face it, cameras are a little bit cheaper. Even with your mobile phone, you'll be able to shoot some awesome content for the general public out there. And so if you carefully look at all of these things, and oops, we are having technical challenges again. I just hope this network is a little bit stable for us. Right. I do apologize for this, guys. Let me just see if I can close some of the applications running on the computer so that we see if we can get a little bit of a smoother running. So let me play a side video so that it keeps rolling whilst I try to see if I can close some of the applications to allow us have a free flow.
Today, we are embarking on a journey, and not just any journey, but a journey to get inspired to create. So, before we do, let's define the terms that we are going to be using for today's episode. One would ask, what is inspiration? Inspiration is simply something that helps you or gives you the urge to create. Inspiration can come from everywhere, from the very mundane sources to the extravagant, to the metaphysical, or even the very spiritual realm. Inspiration is mostly fueled by fragments of our daily activities or fragments of our ideas, or generally the stuff that we have been introduced to growing up in a particular area, or even the kind of people you grew up around. All those things affect your experiences as a human being. So
I think we can continue. I'm not able to close most of the applications. So like I said, let's just hope that some of these glitches are not released too much. Let's see if we can manage through. Like I said, for the subsequent ones we'll be doing within the year, we'll try as much as possible to see how far we're able to go with this. So before we left, we were talking about dedicating a budget to marketing yourself, your film, or your craft. Like I said, this is a major mistake that I see a lot of beginner filmmakers do. And like I said, even at this stage as an indie filmmaker, I still make some of those mistakes. Let's say if you have a film, or if you are making a budget for a film, typically an indie filmmaker, let's say you have $1,000 for a film, you might dedicate, let's say, just almost 99 to the extreme. Let me say you might dedicate like almost 99% of that budget to just shooting and editing of the film, and just 1% of the budget into marketing. Guys, this is a serious mistake, a huge mistake, and an untold truth of the industry. In as much as your film might be good, you need to invest a lot, or you need to channel lots of resources into marketing your film. And so in Hollywood, it's a very major component of the whole process. And so if, let's say, for example, if a film is supposed to take, let's say, $100,000, let's say you are dedicating $100,000, then probably about $40,000 can be dedicated to the shooting and editing, and almost about $60,000 is going to be kind of kept for marketing of the film. Because at the end of the day, you can't create a quality product and put it in your bedroom and expect the world to watch it. And now, let me prove this point to you. Have you ever heard, or almost, you open the internet, you go everywhere, you see a trailer of a film, you see the poster, you go to the traditional media everywhere, you are bombarded with this film, you go and watch it. However, the quality is not even up there. You still watch it, but you are disappointed. If you've ever been in that shoes before, then that it's a clear indication that those who know how to run the industry very well know about this truth that they are not really sharing with the world. That yes, you might have a quality material, but what are you doing to put it out there, or what are the major ways? And so they invest lots of time, lots of energy, lots of money into marketing their films. There have been so many situations, and even if you follow history very well, even with the role of the traditional media, there are most circumstances where some governments have used the media as a propaganda tool by constantly sending certain kind of signals or certain kind of informations to the world through that particular channel. And eventually, even if it's not true, people begin to buy into it. Let's say if I pay, let's say I go to a country like Ghana, and I'm not saying, I'm not implying people are corrupt or any way, but if I'm able to get, let's say 1,000 journalists, or let's say entertainment journalists, to believe in my idea, or to buy into this film, or to buy into this artistic piece that I want to bring to the world, if all these people bring their ideas together and we are supposed to put this out there, then what happens immediately is that the more they continue to tell the people that this film is nice, this film is nice, this film is good, or this artwork is good, the people eventually would buy into the idea, regardless of, you know, how good or bad the whole situation is. So generally, that is how the whole thing kind of works in this particular system or in this particular situation. So it's something that you really need to really take good note of, or really good care of, if you really want to succeed in this industry. Always make sure, spend time to some people will call it overhype or hype. Regardless of how you look at it, but marketing, it's a very important component of the industry, which is hardly spoken about, or which people hardly talk about. So make sure to invest in marketing of your art products, because the products themselves is not, or are not going to be doing that for you. So basically, that is one of the major points that I have for you guys out there. So just start thinking. There are many ways these days. There are even free ways by which you can kind of go about promoting your film or promoting yourself, because we have lots of social media out there that you can actually leverage on to promote yourself. And even within those social media, there are so many other ways, or there are so many other angles that you can approach advertising yourself with, and all that. So yeah, for now, yes, let's get to the comments. But before that, I just have one last point for you. I think, let me just finish with this. Let me share the last point before we before we get very interactive. So the last point I have for you is that you hardly get creative freedom, or let me say, you would never truly get fulfilled when you get to the top of the filmmaking industry as an independent filmmaker. This is so true, guys. And a lot of people have also shared this same sentiment on several occasions. Now, when you are starting off, the idea or the goal is that I want to get to Hollywood, or I want to make films to the highest level. Yes, that can be a goal, or that might be something that you actually are targeting, or something that you actually want to do. But the truth of the matter is that when you get to that particular point in time, or when you get to that particular point of your career, when you shoot a film, let's say you're working with a brand, let's say a brand like Nike, or maybe you're working with Nestle, Unilever, or any of these big organizations out there, you begin to lose your creative freedom, and it begins to suck a lot out of you, especially if it's passion, or let's say if it's passion that only drove you into the industry, or passion that only made you a filmmaker. You begin to lose it, because your clients always have a major say in your work. Probably the most painful part, I always say, is that probably your client might not even have a fair idea of how the first cut would look like, or they don't even have a fair idea of how the cuts should go. But be ready for those criticisms, and be ready for those bizarre suggestions, because trust me, after putting in all your thinking cap on and churning out that artistic piece, once it goes to them, they are going to review it and come back with, very interesting demands. Sometimes, don't get me wrong, some clients can be very good. Some clients can go ahead and, present you very good ones. But don't also be fooled, because there are certain situations, or let me say, more than 80% of the time, some of the comments that you get, it sucks the creativity out of your body, because you wonder that this is a very creative idea. Why would someone suggest this, or why would someone suggest something totally bizarre? So, but remember, your clients are always right. You can't tell them that this is bizarre. In some cases, you can advise, but in case they keep insisting, to protect your job and to not lose those opportunities, you just have to accept sometimes, and just let it go. All right. So those are some of the difficulties, and like I said, those are some of the untold truths of the industry. So just bear it in mind that if you really still want to go with the traditional route, there is going to come a time, or there is a point in time where you are really going to feel like the energy and everything is being sucked kind of out of your body. So just bear that in mind clearly, that some of those things would definitely come your way along the line. So yeah, thank you so much. These are the main points that I intended to share with you. There are some, but probably I'm going to reserve them, and maybe later on I'm going to make a pre-recorded video with some of these points and post them on this channel, so that you guys can get to enjoy some of these things. And at this point in time, I feel like the glitches are again getting too much. So I'm just going to go for kind of a short break. Let's go back again. Let's just play some part of the former episodes that I did in the past. Then we'll be back and I'll address some of your comments.
Today, we are embarking on a journey, and not just any journey, but a journey to get inspired to create. So, before we do, let's define the terms that we are going to be using for today's episode. One would ask, what is inspiration? Inspiration is simply something that helps you or gives you the urge to create. Inspiration can come from everywhere, from the very mundane sources to the extravagant, to the metaphysical, or even the very spiritual realm. Inspiration is mostly fueled by fragments of our daily activities or fragments of our ideas, or generally the stuff that we have been introduced to growing up in a particular area, or even the kind of people you grew up around. All those things affect your experiences as a human being. So, although you may not realize it, the next time you are searching for a very unique idea for your project, all those ideas most often come from your personal experiences. One would ask, is there truly something new under the sun? Well, that is a little bit debatable, but what I can tell you is that what makes an artistic work unique, it's by leveraging on your personal experiences as a human being. And when you do this, you are going to end up convincing your audience that what you are producing, it's original. However, I always say it is never truly entirely new. What made it unique is because you have been able to leverage on your personal experiences to be able to make a very unique, authentic piece. So, the next time you are facing that artistic block and you need inspiration to be able to create that artistic piece, be it singing or drawing, or probably you're an artist, or maybe specifically if you're a filmmaker like I am embarking on a journey today to get inspired. I have this particular location I often visit to fill up my creative cup. I like to describe this place as a very local, indigenous Ghanaian vernacular place to get inspired. Because at this particular place, you can get to experience somehow unadulterated African culture, and it gives a clear depiction into the olden days in an African setting. So, if you're ready, I am going to take you on this journey today. Let's get there, let's go there, and get inspired. On the way, I am going to be sharing some tips with you. But guys, before we go, if you're new to the channel, kindly click on the subscribe button and hit on the notification icon so that you get notified anytime we drop a new video on this channel. Because on this channel, we talk about art and anything filmmaking. If you're ready for this journey, let's go. So in most cases, I just love to step out like this and take a ride to this particular location that I enjoy so much. And trust me, by the time we get there, you are going to agree with me that it is really worthwhile, or it's really worth our time. Yes, guys, we are finally here. So let's pack it. You know, this is an African community. So when you first get here, what you have to do is you have to get there and greet them. But this is where I come to get inspired. As courtesy demands in an African community, let's go and greet the people. But they are my friends, so I know once they get to see me around, they will be waiting for me here. So let's do this. Just look at the whole landscape, and like I said, it is almost like an unadulterated version of the typical African setting. So yes, I'm here, and let me find a place and sit down and let's have a chit chat. Let me share some 1 or 2 tips with you. Apart from just visiting a place like this to get inspired, let me find a place and sit, and I'm going to update you with other things that you can do to just get, your creative juice, just rolling. So come along, let's go. Guys, so Like I said, I'm going to share with you other ways. You don't necessarily have to visit a place like this in order to get inspired. Like I said, this is just my own, or this is typically my style, but there are other ways by which you can get your creative juice running. One of the ways you can also do that is by listening to music. When you are too stuck and you don't have any idea at all to start with, consider listening to a song or generally music from artists who inspire you a lot. Probably listening to very sensible musicians. Don't just listen to anyone, but listen to musicians that you genuinely like their work or their songs or whatever inspires you in one way or the other. The other thing you can do is to listen to stories. Yes, guys, this is so important, especially for those of you out there, or filmmakers, or let me say creatives out here in Africa. There's a lot of stories that we can convert into films or that we can convert into movie projects. The storytelling culture in Africa is so loaded, and I always call it the coded way of storing African information. Consider visiting an old person if you're an African to listen to stories. That may
All right, guys. So you're welcome back, and again, I want to apologize for the breaks along the line. Like I said, the network over here isn't really too good, so we kind of just have to make do with what we have. And right away, let's go straight into the comments. So Pixelion Studio is right here. Ras is also here. And yeah, this person is saying, what is the difference between, that is Trent Allen. Allen is saying, what is the difference between a producer and a director? So Alan, the main thing here is that a producer is the one who gives out money, or they are more or less, let's say, the owners of the film, because they give the money out for the film to be made. And the director is like the artistic or the one with the artistic vision for the film. He or she is responsible for seeing that, or seeing to the successful completion of the film. So that is a main thing, or that is a main thing. Yes, that is a main responsibility of a director. So it's more of the artistic side. They are the leader of the production in terms of taking the creative decisions. And when it comes to the money, who gives the money out for the film to be made, then it's the producer. So take it like the producers are the people with the money, and the director is the one with the artistic knowledge to supervise the film to make sure it sees a successful completion. So yeah, basically that is it. And Baba Sheo says hi. Hi, Baba Sheo. He's saying, Baba Sheo is saying, Baba Sheo Abba Kari. I hope I'm not massacring your names. Just forgive me. And Baba is saying that what's the best time for shooting? So one thing I would advise is that just check the local time, check whichever area that you are living in, to see what time does the sun rise and what time does the sun set, because usually the best time to shoot is between, let's say, from the hours of 6:30 to, let's say, somewhere around 10. That is in my vicinity where I live. But make sure you avoid midday, that is noon. So you are looking at early morning till somewhere around 10 a.m. And again, the next shoot will be somewhere around 4:30, 5 o'clock, thereabout, till, let's say, 7, or till whenever you realize that the light is so down that you can no longer shoot. So you are looking at early morning and late in the evening. So those are the two major times that you should be looking at in terms of if you want to really look into this. So those are the major two areas that you should be looking at. So do we have someone here? Anonymous. Anonymous is saying, hi, I went into filmmaking because of you. Thank you so much, Anonymous. These are very inspiring words because the main goal of this starting up this channel in the first place is, I've always said that I want to inspire people to get into the industry. So thank you so much, Anonymous, for sticking around, and I hope to see you more in 2022, because I have more actually in stock for everyone on this channel. Thank you so much, Anonymous. Pixelion Studio says, actually, this is Hakeem's Success from OBL Studios. Yes, I actually thought it was Reed. I think he raised this comment initially because I acknowledge his presence initially, and I thought it was Farid, who has changed his channel name to Read Now. So thank you so much for the heads up. I acknowledge your presence. Hakeem, thank you so much for always being there. He's one of the ardent followers of these channels, and he has been with us since day one. And I thank you so much for sticking around. And Tarrant Allen is here again. He's saying, "What country are you from?" By the way, I am in South Africa. Yes, Alan, I am based in Ghana, with the West African country of Ghana, and it's such an honor to have people like you on this channel all over the world, and specifically from other parts of Africa. I'm always so proud to have you guys around, because that is the main goal of this channel, to inspire most of you out there to pick up cameras and go out there and tell stories. Because I'm going to end the whole series with a very favorite quote, or a quote of mine, which is always so dear to my heart, and why I decided to start this channel even in the first place. So David Parks, David is here. Yes, David also left us a comment. Thank you so much, David Parks, for stopping by. And Gina's lifestyle. I've shared videos about this lady on this channel before. Gina is also here. Gina, thank you so much for stopping by. Gina is saying, "Hello, Africa, Amaze. Happy New Year." Happy New Year to you too, Gina. May the New Year bring us more blessings, and make sure that you have major wins. Gina is also a YouTuber. You can check out her channel. She does lots of lifestyle content on her channel, and she's also an ardent follower of this channel. Thank you so much for being there, Gina. And those are the questions and comments and that we have there for now. And if you are also just joining us, please, you can just go ahead and leave me a question, leave me a comment, and I'll also be reading it live, because today we are just kind of getting interactive. And if you are just joining in, please do me a favor by clicking on the like button, because it goes a long way in helping other people discover this channel on YouTube. We are almost getting to the end of this particular stream, guys. And so I'm just going to be going ahead to tell you some of the major things that we are going to be or some of my plans for 2022, and what you guys should be expecting from me. And if you were here from the beginning of the stream, I did say that we are going to be doing more of this live streams as the year goes by. We are going to be doing a lot of this. And so thank you so much already. Like I said, Pixelian Studio, Ras TV, Tarrant Allen, Baba Shehu Baba, Kari, Anonymous, and David Parks, Gina Lifestyle, and all those other people who have joined in this live stream. I want to really thank you guys so much. You guys are the number one true fan, because I didn't really have enough time to promote this live stream, but you guys still made it to be here at this particular point in time to watch me. And if you are also watching this video in the future, please make sure to also still leave your comment on this video, because regardless, I'm going to be back here to respond to every single one of your messages, as I always do on this channel. So yes, I'm just going to give it some few more minutes to see if we have any further questions, or if we have any further comments dropping in, before I move to wrap up the show for today, because I can see some more people just joining us over here. And I have one comment again from Dramani. He says, "Hello, Africa Amaze. Happy to be here. Actually came in late." Oh, of course, it's never too late. Thank you so much for still joining in. And like I said, we are almost getting to the end of the show for today. But I did promise that as time goes on, we are going to be doing more of this in 2022. And so if you do have any further questions about this channel and the way forward for 2022, you can still go ahead and leave me questions, your comments in the comment section below. I'll be reading them live here, and also kind of commenting on them. So if you are just joining us, or if you joined us very late, what we are talking about is the truth about filmmaking, because at the end of the day, most of the time, some of us get interested into going into the industry by seeing, the glamorous aspects of the industry. But the truth is that there are some dark truths, or there are some dark sides of the industry that I'm sure if some people get to know, they are not really going to get into the industry as they may want to. And I have another question from here. Tarrant Allen say, you must come to South Africa sometime soon. Yes, Alan, I'll be coming to South Africa sometime soon. Most definitely, I'll definitely make some time to come to South Africa. I think before the COVID hit, I was in Nigeria. About I think that was 2018. I made a short film actually, which made it to the Africa International Film Festival, and I had the privilege to hold some classes with some people, which was really very good. And of course, I also had a chance to meet the Hollywood director Philip Noyce, and I've shared one of the major lessons I learned from Philip Noyce. If you've watched the Hollywood film Blade, Philip Noyce is the director of Blade, and like I said, with interactions, from my interactions with him, I actually picked up a lot, and I actually shared one of the thoughts from the lectures or some of the interactions I had with him, which is he told me that one thing you need to do as a filmmaker is to make sure that ask yourself anytime you want to make, and it's not just a filmmaking advice. If you are an artist, if you are a musician, if you draw, if you are an actor, any form of artwork that you do, ask yourself, can I grow old with this work? What do we mean by can I grow old with this work? It simply means that in the next 10, 15, 20 years, can I look back at this work and be proud that I actually made this work or I actually did it? So, despite the fact that time changes and as you get better, it's only obvious that when you make it to that level, and you look back, I mean, it's.
Today, we are embarking on a journey, and not just any journey, but a journey to get inspired to create. So, before we do, let's define the terms that we are going to be using for today's episode. One would ask, what is inspiration? Inspiration is simply something that helps you or gives you the urge to create. Inspiration can come from everywhere, from the very mundane sources to the extravagant, to the metaphysical, or even the very spiritual realm. Inspiration is mostly fueled by fragments of our daily activities or fragments of our ideas, or generally the stuff that we have been introduced to growing up in a particular area, or even the kind of people you grew up around. All those things affect your experiences as a human being. So, although you may not realize it, the next time you are searching for a very unique.
Yes, guys, so kind of back to it, and these are some of the little challenges we are facing. Like I said, we are having a little bit of issues with network conversion rates and all that. So like I said, we'll be addressing some of these issues moving on to some of the other live streams that I'm going to be doing within the year, because like I said in the beginning of this video, we are going to be doing lots of live streams this year. And we have more questions coming in. Pixelion Studio says he enjoyed every part of the video. Oh, thank you so much for sticking around, because it hasn't been easy with all the technical challenges, networks dropping here and there. You still stuck with us. Thank you so much. And Love Dean Pictures says, hi Africa Amaze. Your content really gives me hope that I can do it. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Love Dean. You can actually really do it. And this kind of comments kind of get me going, because at the end of the day, I actually want to really serve as an inspiration for others. And Tarrant Allen is back again and saying, are you going to try and make a feature film this year? Alan, I'm not too sure. I'm currently on a script. I'm currently writing a script. And it depends on the funding, because, excuse me, just a minute. Depends on the funding and how soon I get funding for this video. Then we'll be able to shoot a feature. But I have a crazy idea. What I want to do is that to prove to you guys that you don't really need a red camera, you don't need a black magic to make a very good film. I want to challenge myself and shoot that film on let's say a Panasonic G7 or a camera that everybody least expect that should be able to shoot something of that nature. And so that is the main target for that particular film. Like I said, the script is like 60% done. I'm putting in much more efforts. Probably before the end of January, the script will be ready. And as you are here on this channel, by the time I'm done with the script, I'll be sharing it with you guys. Of course, not the content, but I'll be showing it to you guys to know that the script is complete and we are on our way to almost getting ready to producing that particular film. So yes, before I continue, let me finish that point from Philip Noyce. I was talking about growing old with your film. So in as much as our ideas and things change, that after 15, 20 years time, you look back, you are certainly going to feel like I could have done this film better, or I could have produced this particular thing better. But when you look back at that particular point in time, you should be able to thank God, or you should be able to thank your stars that I was able to make this artistic piece. And it should be something that you are proud of, to look back that this is how far I've come. And so you are growing, as you are growing old, you are growing old with your work. So you have to approach art as if it's a human being. It also lives and breathes and it grows old. Let me give you an example. Growing up, I used to watch, there was this series, Journey to the West. Journey to the West used to be a very inspiring film for me. And some of the visual effects there were so amazing. And it was one of the reasons, or one of the films that actually pushed me into filmmaking, because I was always fascinated by the way visual effects were constantly being made. And it's one of the reasons why I actually got into the industry in the first place. But so many years later, when I look at, or when I take a look at Journey to the West, I'm no more so fascinated at the visual effects and the construction of the film like I used to. And so you would realize that it means there been some progression. I've grown as an artist, I've grown over time. And so some of the things that used to fascinate me so much, I look at them, and sometimes I look at the film and I'm even able to look at or discover so many mistakes. And I ask myself, how come I was enjoying this? How come? Because sometimes I fall into that trap of starting to criticize. I'm like, what? Was that what they did? Or was this the line that it was going in terms of the visual effects, in terms of story structure? But you kind of get where this is going. So it kind of puts you on your toes, that at every point in time, you have to be confident enough that in the next 15, 20 years, you have to be able to look back at your work. And like I said, even if you have ideas that you could have done it better, but you have to be proud that at least you took the bold step in creating it. Thank you so much. So let's get back. We have some more comments dropping in here. Like I said, so Pixelian Studio is saying, are you planning on shooting a feature film anytime soon? Yes, like I've just said, we are going to be shooting a feature film very, very, very soon. I don't know if it will be within this year. For those of you who know, I'm also a graduate student. So time is also something that is very key for me. And I'm not too sure. I'm also likely to start, I don't know. I'm not too sure, like I said, but I might be starting a PhD program, or I might be doing a Master of Philosophy program at the university this year. So I'm not too sure how time will allow me, but let's see what the year brings along, then we shall see. Like I said, the script is also still under development. Once the script is done, I'm going to let you guys know, then we see how we can go about it. But if any of you guys out here knows any way to raise funds, or knows any way to get investment for a film, because that is still an area that till now I'm still struggling myself, then please do hit me up. Do let me know. You can hit me up on my Instagram. You can leave comments. I'll link up to you. Please just let me know what ways, or helping in ways that we can fund a film. Film funding, it's really a major issue for now. And it's something that I'm looking at, though I'm still writing the script. And so if you can help in that regard, I'll be so much glad to hear from you guys. So yes, this Kulchere film say, sorry, please where are you located now in Ghana? Yes, so I'm currently streaming from Savannah region. I'm currently streaming from Damango right here within the Northern Enclave, like I said, specifically in Savannah region, or just to be particularly sure, Damango Township. That is where I'm streaming from as at now. And those of you who have been observing my studio, anytime I'm using this uh, blue background, when I have this blue background and this kind of setup going on, then it means I'm in the northern part of Ghana. If you're following the channel, when you see I have some other videos on the channel as well. When you see them, it means I'm in the other part of Ghana. That means I'm usually at Accra, which is the capital city of Ghana. But when you see this blue background and all this kind of setup going on, it means I'm down here in the northern part of Ghana. So that is where I am currently. Kulchere Films, again, Kulchere Films. Yes. I hope I haven't massacred the name, Kulchere Films. And he says, I'm Abdul Basit, Kulchere, CEO of Kulchere Films. I want to meet you in person. Yes, guy, it's doable. I'm sure we should be able to meet sometime soon. The year has just begun. I'll be in Tamale within the week or within the month. I'm sure probably within the week, because I have series of music video shoots to do in town, and with some plenty visual effects that we'll be doing in Tamale Township. So I'll be there. So probably we can link up. You can check me out. I think Kulchere, I'm on some main WhatsApp groups here in Ghana with you, so you can get my number from there, or probably you can contact OBL Senior himself and get my number from there. Let's get interactive, let's get talking, and I'm sure we can certainly meet and have a discussion or have things going on. And like Kulchere, as I don't know how soon you just joined us, but I'm talking about the fact that if you do know anyhow we can get funding, any way to fund the film, I'm so ready for it, because I'm writing a script that I'm passionate about, and very soon I really want to tell that particular story. Now, those are the comments I have. In case any personal questions or any question on filmmaking comes in, I'll be reading that as well, or responding to that as well. Someone has also just joined in, Daos Ibrahim. He says, I'm enjoying the show. Keep it up. Fridaus here. Yes, that is a very good friend of mine. This whole craft of filmmaking began with him as well, and he has been with me since day one. He has been one of the people who has also helped inspire me to go for gold and get to greater heights. And so, like I said, we are currently broadcasting from my home studio from here in Damango in the Savannah region, and this is our first live stream on this channel, first of a series to come, because in 2022, like I said, by the grace of God, we are going to be doing more and more of these live streams on this channel this year, and I just hope that you guys are going to stick around. And by the end of the year, I just hope that at least before 2022 ends, if we can take this family to at least 4,000 subscribers, that is going to certainly be amazing. So in fact, I just hope that all of you guys would believe in the dream, support this channel to keep growing, so that we can keep inspiring the youth, we can keep inspiring other people out there to take the bull by the horn by joining in this new wave of social media developments that is happening in Africa. Let me take another sip of water. It's hammer time. It's clearly Hamatan time here, and so when you speak for some time, your voice begins to break and all that. But naturally, I do have a deep voice. I do have a deep voice, and so my voice box is always kind of more susceptible to some of these kind of atmospheric effects. So sorry for that. And please, if you have any further questions, please still do keep them coming, whether they are personal questions, whether they are filmmaking questions, please do keep them coming. And like I promised earlier, now let me talk about the favorite quote. The quote that I said has always lived with me, and it's one of the one of the factors that pushed me to start this channel. And it says that, are you ready for this? It's so dear to my heart. This quote says that until the lion learns to tell his own story, the tale of the hunter would always remain supreme. It's deep, but in a nutshell, what this means is that until you learn to tell your own story. So let me break down the issue with the lion and the hunter. Now, the hunter, because the lion hasn't learned to speak, or the lion hasn't learned to tell his own story, the tale of the hunter will always remain supreme. Because once the hunter gets home, he wants everything to glorify his work. And so he might not really be giving an authentic story or an authentic version of the true event. That might be adulterated version. However, he is going to present it in such a way that everything glorifies him. But probably the true situation is that this lion would have almost killed him before he managed to kill it. But because the lion hasn't learned to speak, we will always listen to the hunter and believe his own version of the story. And so the moral here is that constantly, for us to go or to grow as Africans or to grow as Ghanaians, or let's say to grow as a black race, not to sound racist in any way, sorry. Basically, we need to take the bull by the horn. We need to tell our own stories. We need to pick up our own cameras, go out there and tell stories that is going to inspire the next generation of African leaders. We can't sit down and be aloof and think that filmmaking is not that important. I always say, filmmaking as a craft, we might not be saving lives. Like, it is not rocket science, so we might not be saving lives. We are not doctors. So, of course, like I said, we might not be saving lives. But we are certainly changing lives. And that is a statement that is so dear to my heart that I want you guys to know, especially if you're an aspiring artist. Regardless of whether you want to be a filmmaker, regardless of whether you are singing, whether you want to be a visual artist, you draw, whatever form of art you do, or even if you are a dancer, whatever form of art you do that can communicate with the soul, that can communicate with people, I want you to know that you might not be saving lives like a doctor, but you are certainly changing lives. And you have every reason to be proud of yourself. And so one would ask, by the beginning of this video, I spoke a lot about a lot of negatives, real truths of filmmaking, the very indigenous hidden truths that are very intricate in ways that if you are not in the industry, people don't usually come across them, or people don't usually see those kind of challenges with the industry. Those are a lot of negatives that I spoke about in the beginning. So now the question is, if there are so many negatives or there are so many difficulties that I so speak or that I so spoke about in the beginning, why do we do it? Why do we make films in the first place? If it's so hard, if sometimes it's pointless because you even run at loss, why do we, or let's say you hardly make money from your drawings as an artist or whatever, why do we still do it? Now, this is deep. We do it because we live for those moments. We live to see those moments where our vision comes to life. Right from the paper or right from our head to seeing the thing materialize. And that is powerful. It's more food for the soul and food for the body. And that is why we do it regardless of any other difficulties that we may face along the line. And if you have this mindset as an artist, regardless of which kind of challenges you may face on the way, those are not reasons, or those will not present themselves as excuses why you should give up on the craft. And I hope I'm speaking to artists out there, and I hope what I'm saying today is certainly changing lives. Someone else have also just joined in to the show right now. The name is Kadir Mascot. Is that Kadir Mascot? Yes, Kadir Mascot. I don't really get the true impulse of his message, but thank you so much for joining us and letting me know that you've also just joined into the stream. And oh, the light I have behind me has just suddenly gone dark, and I'm sure probably by now one of our batteries have run low. So if you can still hear my voice, let me just quickly switch to one of our side videos and I will be right back with you guys. Let me just take a quick break and I would be
Today, we are embarking on a journey, and not just any journey, but a journey to get inspired to create. So, before we do, let's define the terms that we are going to be using for today's episode. One would ask, what is inspiration? Inspiration is simply something that helps you or gives you the urge to create. Inspiration can come from everywhere, from the very mundane sources to the extravagant, to the metaphysical, or even the very spiritual realm. Inspiration is mostly fueled by fragments of our daily activities or fragments of our ideas, or generally the stuff that we have been introduced to growing up in a particular area, or even the kind of people you grew up around. All those things affect your experiences as a human being. So, although you may not realize it, the next time you are searching for a very unique idea for your project, all those ideas most often come from your personal experiences. One would ask, is there truly something new under the sun? Well, that is a little bit debatable, but what I can tell you is that what makes an artistic work unique, it's by leveraging on your personal experiences as a human being. And when you do this, you are going to end up convincing your audience that what you are producing, it's original. However, I always say it is never truly entirely new. What made it unique is because you have been able to leverage on your personal experiences to be able to make a very unique, authentic piece. So, the next time you are facing that artistic block and you need inspiration to be able to create that artistic piece, be it singing or drawing, or probably you're an artist, or maybe specifically if you're a filmmaker like I am embarking on a journey today to get inspired. I have this particular location I often visit to fill up my creative cup. I like to describe this place as a very local, indigenous Ghanaian vernacular place to get inspired. Because at this particular place, you can get to experience somehow unadulterated African culture, and it gives a clear depiction into the olden days in an African setting. So, if you're ready, I am going to take you on this journey today. Let's get there, let's go there, and get inspired. On the way, I am going to be sharing some tips with you. But guys, before we go, if you're new to the channel, kindly click on the subscribe button and hit on the notification icon so that you get notified anytime we drop a new video on this channel. Because on this channel, we talk about art and anything filmmaking. If you're ready for this journey, let's go. So in most cases, I just love to step out like this and take a ride to this particular location that I enjoy so much. And trust me, by the time we get there, you are going to agree with me that yes guys, we are finally here. So let's pack it. You know, this is an African community, so when you first get here, what you have to do is you have to get there and greet them. But this is where I come to get inspired. As courtesy demands in an African community, let's go and greet the people. But they are my friends, so I know once they get to see me around, they will be waiting for me here. So let's do this. So like I said earlier on, this is where I come to get inspired. Just look at the whole landscape. And like I said, it is almost like an unadulterated version of the typical African setting. So yes, I'm here, and let me find a place and sit down and let's have a chit chat. Let me share some 1 or 2 tips with you apart from just visiting a place like this to get inspired. Let me find a place and sit, and I'm going to update you with other things that you can do to just get, your creative juice, just rolling. So come along, let's go. So, like I said, I'm going to share with you other ways. You don't necessarily have to visit a place like this in order to get inspired. Like I said, this is just my own, or this is typically my style, but there are other ways by which you can get your creative juice running. One of the ways you can also do that is by listening to music. When you are too stuck and you don't have any idea at all to start with, consider listening to a song or generally music from artists who inspire you a lot. Probably listening to very sensible musicians. Don't just listen to anyone, but listen to musicians that you genuinely like their work or their songs or whatever or the other. The other thing you can do is to listen to stories. Yes, guys, this is so important, especially for those of you out there, or filmmakers, or let me say creatives out here in Africa. There's a lot of stories that we can convert into films or that we can convert into movie projects. The storytelling culture in Africa is so loaded, and I always call it the coded way of storing African information. Consider visiting an old person, if you're an African, to listen to stories that may inspire you to come up with a nice artistic piece. The next point is to read a book. Don't just read any book, guys. Read a book from an author that you care about, or from an author that inspires you a lot. For example, from my side, I am a fan of Shakespeare, so I read a lot of Shakespearean plays. And anytime I read a Shakespearean play, it inspires me or gives me an idea to embark on another film project. The next point is to watch movies, or just watch a film. Yes, this is so true, guys. We have a lot of films out there, and just watching a film can inspire you, or can get a new idea, or can get you a new idea. So just watching a film, as a filmmaker, you can look at it and say, oh, to tell that same story from another whole perspective. Remember, in the beginning of this, I told you that every single thing that we write, or every inspiration that comes into our head, is through our personal experiences, and that could include just watching a film. All right, guys, the last point I want to share with you is to collaborate with like-minded people. Yes, guys, this is so true. Surround yourself with people who are artists, share similar goals with you. It is so true, guys. I can't count the number of times that I'm having a conversation with a colleague artist, and he or she says something, and straight away it spikes up an idea for a great feature film or a short film that I am going to embark on. So, guys, before we go, what I will say is that always endeavor to tell stories that are authentic. And how can you do that? By leveraging on your personal experiences. So if you're an African creative out there, then the onus is on us to harness the available resources that we have and tell real, indigenous, local, authentic African stories. And that is the only way our film industry, or that is the only way the face of art in Africa would change. And trust me, this also applies to anyone. If you're watching me from any part of the world, this also applies to you. But in this case, what is so dear to me is my African filmmakers, because African film industry in general is lacking behind. So if you're watching me out there, just kindly endeavor to create authentic African content. Am I saying every filmmaker in Africa or every filmmaker in Ghana should start shooting epic films? I am not saying that, or I am not by any means implying that every filmmaker should become like me, or every filmmaker should start producing epic stuff. No, but even in the modern context, make sure that you are not creating something in the vacuum. No art form exists in the vacuum. Art forms exist to be related to. So for example, if I create something that the audience can relate to, then that makes it a better piece, or that will make it a successful artistic piece. Everyone is excited to see the drone, and after flying the drone, they usually want to know consistently what is happening, how the drone works. So as you can see, I'm just explaining to them, the various components of the drone and how it works. So as a way of also just brightening up their day, they are always so fascinated about drone technologies. That is all for today's episode. This episode was kindly supported by Pave Ghana. Guys, if you have any further questions, kindly leave them in the comment section below, or you can also DM me on Instagram at OBL_Junior. Guys, if you're new to the channel, also consider subscribing and hitting the notification icon so that you get notified anytime we drop awesome videos on this particular channel. Because on this channel, we talk about filmmaking, photography, and all its subsidiary or all its other branches. Until next time, guys, keep practicing filmmaking. Peace out.
Sometimes give yourself the freedom, give yourself the leeway to be swayed away by the tune of a particular music. Let the music determine whether you're going to have slow cuts, fast cuts. Today I am going to be sharing with you 6 tips or 6 ways by which you can make music videos in less than 24 hours. If this is something that you're into, then stick around. Let's figure this out. In today's video, I am going to be sharing with you 6 tips or 6 ways by which you can become so productive that you can produce music videos in 24 hours. So the first tip on the list is to actually know your locations at hand. Now, knowing your locations at hand has to start right from the pre-production process. You need to know all the locations that are available to you so that when you are even writing the scripts, all of these things would actually come in handy, or let those kind of locations that you actually have access to inspire the kind of stories that you write. For example, if I have a backyard, or let's say I have a graveyard behind my house, that could inspire me because I know that I could actually use a graveyard yard to shoot my music video. Instead of writing, let's say something like space, which I know I don't have space suits, or I don't have any friends who have space. Meanwhile, we have to execute this project in 24 hours. So you don't have that luxury of time. And so knowing very well that I have access to this particular location will really help me save money and will really also make everything very easy for me. The next tip on the list is to keep everything simple. Do not write gargantuan, colossal, unrealistic ideas, guys. Be very realistic. When you're writing your script, write things that you know you can be able to achieve. I actually wrote a lot of huge visual effects. That was why I actually failed in shooting and editing my music video in 24 hours. So learn from my mistake. Make sure to keep concepts very simple. Like I always say, when you are in doubt, visit the basics. Do not include any unpredictable variable within your shoot. Now, what do we mean by unpredictable variables here? There are certain things you can't actually, or humans do not naturally have control over. For example, in my case, or the main thing that prompted me to come up with the idea for this video, it's during the music video shoot of mine, I actually sent an animal on set, and the animal was so unpredictable. And we ended up losing almost 5 hours of the shoot to just trying to get the horse in place. So guys, make sure that you don't include things that you don't actually have total control of. Even in professional situations where you have animal trainers on set, even them cannot guarantee you 100% of the fact that all the animals are going to kowtow to what you actually want them to do. And so if you are under time and you have 24 hours to execute a music video, make sure that you don't write sections or you don't include those kind of unpredictable variables within your shoot. The next tip I have for you is to choose your camera wisely. Now, what do I mean by choosing your camera wisely? Now, your camera is kind of like the extension, or it's one of the main things that will actually determine the success of your shoot. You should choose a camera that is actually very simple to operate, a camera that will not require a whole crew to use. For example, if you go with, let's say, a Blackmagic, and let's say you put it on a Ronin gimbal and you have to have a focus puller on set. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying going with a big budget, because at the end of the day, this video is mainly to help those with limited budgets and limited time. And if you can have all the money to hire all these people on set, I'm not sure then you are bound to force yourself to do something within 24 hours. So that's why I'm limiting myself to people who are actually handicapped in terms of time and want to execute this within 24 hours. If you are within this 24 hours bracket, guys, do determine whether you're going to have slow cuts, fast cuts, and all those other kind of cuts that you are going to have within that particular music video. So that is all for today's video, guys. I really hope all these 6 tips that I shared with you in this video will be helpful. And when you succeed in creating that music video within 24 hours, don't forget to tag me on Instagram at OBL_Junior. And if you did enjoy this video, kindly leave a comment in the comment section below. And I do reply to every single one of my comments on this YouTube channel, because you know what, you guys out there are awesome. And if you're new to the channel, guys, I'll do much appreciate it if you click on the subscribe button and smash the like button if this is something that you're into, because I like those who do that. It goes a long way in helping us make awesome content and help other people discover our channel right here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, keep practicing filmmaking. Peace out.
All right, guys. So, unfortunately, we've run into some technical challenges that we might not be able to continue, because I just had to find ways of just connecting my phone so that we could finish up this. And as you can see, there's even still lots of scratches happening over here. I just hope that by way of ending this video, I would like to say that we'll be doing more of this, and I want to thank all of you so much for stopping by for today's video. I want to apologize for all the inconveniences that have happened. Like I said, network challenges. It hasn't really been easy, but I just wanted to get this video done at all costs so that we can have this out of the way. Like I said, it's my hope that this year we can end with at least 4,000 subscribers, and I just hope that with your usual support, we'll be able to hit all of that. Thank you so much for watching, and like I said, I do apologize for coming back and lowering the quality just so that we can get this thing done. I want to use the opportunity to thank all of you who have joined in the post. Sorry I couldn't read all your comments, like I said, because of the technical challenges, and hopefully very soon, just keep an eye on the community tab. I'll be updating you very soon on when we'll be doing more other tutorials coming up, or when we'll be getting extra interactive. So if you are here for the very first time, I'll do much appreciate it if you do click on the subscribe button, hit on the notification icon so that you get notified anytime I drop awesome content like this on the Africa Amazed channel. If you're new here, we talk about cinematography, photography, editing, and all its related branches. It's been an honor and privilege of coming your way with this very first live stream, and although it hasn't been easy, but it's been good that we did get interactive today on this channel. Thank you so much for watching, and like always, until next time, keep practicing filmmaking. Peace out.
Today, we are embarking on a journey, and not just any journey, but a journey to get inspired to create. So, before we do, let's define the terms that we are going to be using for today's episode. One would ask, what is inspiration? Inspiration is simply something that helps you or gives you the urge to create. Inspiration can come from everywhere, from the very mundane sources to the extravagant, to the metaphysical, or even the very spiritual realm. Inspiration is mostly fueled by fragments of our daily activities or